The 1917 Battle of Doiran was a battle in World War I between the Allies and Bulgaria. Planning. During the Second Conference of the Military Council of the Entente in Chantilly, it was decided to continue with the attempts to break through. The task for the Entente forces on the Macedonian front was to inflict major defeats on the Bulgarian army and effect a wide breakthrough in the Balkans in a relatively short time. The Allied command, which expected reinforcements, planned a major assault in the direction of Vardar and Doiran. In 1917, the 2nd Thracian Infantry Division was replaced at Doiran by the 9th Pleven Infantry Division under the command of Colonel Vladimir Vazev. Initial attacks. On 9 and 10 February the Allies attacked the 33rd Svishtov and 34th Troyan regiments but were repulsed by a decisive counter-attack by the Troyan regiment. The British advance on the 21st of February was repulsed by Bulgarian artillery after a two-day battle. The Allied command found that the Bulgarian positions were better fortified than in the previous year, so it ordered a systematic artillery barrage on these defences. In the meantime, it continued the development of their forming up ground, which was 800 to 1,500 meters from the defensive lines of the Pleven Division. To make the breakthrough, the British concentrated 3 divisions, with its artillery, more than 43,000 men, 160 guns, 110 mortars and 440 machine guns. The objective did not differ much from the battle in the previous year. The main blow was on a front of 5 to 6 kilometers towards Kalatepe. The prognosis of the Bulgarian command for a major Allied offensive was confirmed by intelligence. The 9th Pleven Division was reinforced and had a total of 30,000 men, 147 guns, 35 mortars, 130 machine guns. According to the orders of the High Command, the front was divided into 3 zones with different widths. The right from the river Vardar to the Varovita Heights with a width of 13 kilometers was defended by 1st Brigade. The central from the Varovita Heights to the Karakonjo Heights, 4 kilometers wide, defended by the 57th Regiment, and the left from the Karakonjo Heights to Lake Doiran, 9 kilometers wide, defended by 2nd Brigade. Defensive positions. In 1917 the Bulgarian defensive positions and fortifications were further improved. It included 2 main positions with 2 rows of continuous trenches, 1.5 to 2 meters deep, 200 to 1,000 meters apart and linked with passages for communication. In front of these positions there was a 2-line system of wire entanglements. Between the rows of trenches, watch points, shelters, machine gun nests and sunken batteries were constructed. Behind these defences there were concrete galleries, fire positions for the artillery and platforms for ammunition. In front of the main position there were smaller fortifications, with a partly constructed secondary position 2 to 5 kilometers to its rear. The battle for a breakthrough in the Bulgarian positions began on the 22nd of April and continued intermittently until the 9th of May 1917. The assault began with a bitter 4-day artillery barrage in which the British fired about 100,000 shells. As a result, the earthworks and some wooden structures in the front positions were destroyed. The Bulgarians also opened fire from the batteries between Vardar and Doiran. Vladimir Vazev ordered fire day and night on the Allied positions. The initial several-hour struggle between the British and Bulgarian batteries was followed by a 1-hour Bulgarian counter-barrage in which 10,000 shells were fired. The British infantry began its attack on the night of 24-25 April. 12 companies attacked the Bulgarian 2nd Brigade and after a bloody fight managed to take the Nerezov, Nyazboris, and Pazadzhik positions. After a Bulgarian counter-attack, the British were repulsed with heavy casualties and by 8 p.m. had retreated. The British assaults on the right and central fronts were also repulsed with heavy casualties after help from the Bulgarian artillery. The British attacks in the next 2 days were defeated by constant Bulgarian fire and counter-attacks. Due to this fire, the British withdrew to their initial positions on the 27th of April. The Bulgarians immediately started to reconstruct the destroyed fortifications. Due to criticism by their high command, the British made new attempts to break through. On the 8th of May, after a long artillery barrage, they began another attack. The main assault started at 9 p.m. with 5 waves of British troops attacking the Bulgarian positions. After 4 attacks during the night of 8 to 9 May, the British were defeated and suffered enormous casualties. A Times correspondent wrote that the British soldiers called the Boris Point the Valley of Death. The artillery duel continued until the 9th of May, but due to heavy casualties, the British had to abandon all attacks. They lost 12,000 killed, wounded and captured, of which more than 2,250 were buried by the Bulgarian defenders. The losses of the 9th Pleven Infantry Division were 2,000, of whom 900 died from disease and wounds. Vladimir Vazov was promoted to Major General. Aftermath. In the next 16 months, the front was relatively quiet apart from local skirmishes. Both sides used that time to further strengthen and consolidate their positions. In 1918, a massive Anglo-Greek attack was repulsed by the Pleven Division in the Third Battle of Doiran.